Hey everybody, this is WWE Gaming and welcome back for another Langrisser video. Here's where we're going to take a look at the collab history of Langrisser M. As you all know, Langrisser M has ran about 9 different collabs so far, and and these ones are quite unique in their own ways. So I'm going to show you all the what the history unfolds. But however, I kind of lost the memory of the time when they first ran the collab for Langrisser M. So bear that in mind. So I'm just calculating this by the order, just to let you know. So, anyways, first off, the first collab that we got, when the by the early days of Langrisser, happens to be Trails in the Sky, the Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky collab. This collab brought 6 characters from that game to Langrisser M. The first, and anyways, this collab runs like in 2 waves. The first wave is the one banner featuring Estelle and Joshua. And anyways, Estelle is actually a pretty versatile lancer, I should say. She comes with so many skills, which also includes the ability to protect her allies, which is basically a tank, but only works after she deal damage to your opponent. And Joshua, on the other hand, he is a faction. He's the first faction buffer for Heroes of Time. And what it means is that Heroes of Time factions, most of the time, is going to be collab units. So yeah, if you're really into collab units, then Heroes of Time might be a faction you want. Oh yeah, just an FYI, Angelica is also part of that faction, even though she's not really a collab unit. She's basically one who's in charge of collabs though. But unfortunately, her faction buff isn't that great since it only just increased the stats and nothing else. There's not even a special effect bonus on there either. So Angelica might be a dead pick there. So just an FYI. So anyways, Joshua has a faction buff that has a special effects that boosts skill AoE damages. So so yeah, Joshua is more into like AoE. So if you have a team for collab units that uses AoE attacks, then Joshua is your man. And also during that event, there's also going to be a secret realm event that features SR Hero Kloss, or I don't know how to pronounce her name right, but anyways, she's actually there as a free SR unit back then, and she's quite interesting. Not a lot of people find the use of her, but eventually they finally acknowledge her usage. So I don't know. I don't think anyone have used her in Apex at all because how low her usage is nowadays. Anyways, that's just the history behind. So, anyways, let's move on to Wave Two of the same collab. So, Wave Two brought over Leon Hart, which is the blonde hair or the gray hair with the weird, which is basically this guy, the one with the sword, and Ren or Renee in the English version, and she's the Angel of Death. And these two are on the other banner that's featured as SSRs. And that during that wave two, they also introduced another secret realm event for the same collab, but this one is for Olivier as the SR feature unit. So you see what's going on here, right? So basically, this collab run would run in 2 waves. The first wave runs half of them, and the other wave another half. Yeah. This is actually the best way they managed to collab here, which is actually pretty, which is we ended in a high note, I should say. So anyways, this banner is pretty solid. If you are able to get them by the time of their appearance, then great for you because you got some excellent units to begin with. But anyways, the one thing for sure is that Estelle is still out there in Apex. So yeah, she has a place, and same goes to Leonhardt maybe, or maybe Ren as well because of the some rare cases like if you inflict enough debuffs, she will deal massive damage. What I mean massive damage, I really mean it. So like one of her skill like allows her to deal full damage ignore while ignoring every magic defense the opponent has, which could be powerful indeed. So yeah, in Ren is actually an exception here. So like if you inflict enough debuffs, she will do the job for you. I can guarantee that. All right, moving on to the next collab. Next collab. Anyways, this one is one of my favorite ones, like one of my most favorite ones. Even though when they first ran, I had no idea what these characters are because that I was new back then, I should say. Like, anyways, when this banner comes around, I saw those character designs. They're beautiful, I should say. Like they did an excellent job of bringing this collab over to Langrisser. And I've actually well known how this series went through. Like I even watched their original series, and I already fell in love with them. So, anyways, this collab brings three new characters: Sakura Shinguchi, Sumire Kanzaki, and Iris. And funny enough, the game decided to scrap the Iris's last name, which is kind of odd to me. So, anyways, these three are quite solid to your teams. So, like Sakura, she's more like a DPS unit with the first strike whenever she had higher skill than your opponent. Sumire is a tank that's actually situational, but at the same time you should probably watch out how you use her because she's not like any other tank you will use because she has to like she have her guard down for a certain period of turns. So yeah, if you want to use her, better well be mindful of her usage of guarding. So the most effective way to use her guard is by use one of her guard, and when that guard goes down, use the other one to keep her guard up. That's the key point here. And also she does the most of the work if she's alone. What I mean alone is that her soldiers has to die. So that way she'll be out there alone, and when that happens, she receives a full bonus damage to whoever you attack next, which also includes her AoE skills. So, anyways, she's actually best used if all her soldier dies. But other than that, if you're not careful, she might get herself killed. So bear that in mind. And also Iris, of course, in the series, she is a laid back character, so that also means that she's a healer. Despite that in their world there's no magic, but the machines they operate are magical, based on what I've heard. Anyways, so far, I'm actually glad these guys came back in certain times. Oh yeah, babe, speaking of reruns, so far the events I rerun so far, the first four did get a rerun, which I'll explain later. So, anyways, moving on. This one is Yu Yu Hakusho's event. So, anyways, this one ran I forgot which month that was or which year. I I didn't think this was 1.5 years ago. So yeah, bear with me. Anyways, this banner is a bit of a crash party because a lot of people find this a bit of a poor timing because for one, this banner isn't treated as what we used to back in Trails in the Sky collab. This one apparently only has one Secret Realm event, but of course running the same way of how they manage the banners. They first released two characters, and then the next time it will be the other two, which it works in some ways, but that raises one question. You might have noticed there's only five characters here, right? Well, that's because they only have one unit that's here that's for free, which is Kurobara. He's the only one SR hero in this lineup. And a lot of people say he is one of the worst ones possible to work with because although he's technically a tank, but as a starter he's more like a DPS. So yeah, if you're trying to build him as a tank, he doesn't tank too well. I should probably add to that. So yeah, if you want to get Kurobara, then it's on you. Anyways, anyways, he's probably not worth it in the end, but having him is in your collection is better than missing out on him. So, but hey, he's free after all, so no complaints there. But the one thing issue that I have right now is that recently the Yu Yu Hakusho rerun happened right now. Unfortunately, they both happen at the same time, which is great to some of you, but to me, it's a bit of a it's a bit of a rush here because for one, now I had to miss them once again because for one I don't have them at 6 stars, so that's probably my own problem. But the thing is, I won't be able to get them all in time because even if I try to, it's too risky since I have multiple heroes here that I'm missing. So anyways, I'm luckily I got Yusuke out all everyone in the collab event rerun. So yeah, I'm actually satisfied with just Yusuke. I don't care about Kurama or Hiei at all because you know honestly, even though I got them in collection doesn't mean I'll be using them. So yeah, no point of me getting them at the moment. So yeah, so far when the first time the banner run, I have Toguro Bros. So and that's about it. Oh yeah, I should probably talk to you about the history of what units I got as well. So for Trails in the Sky, I got every unit except for Olivier, which I don't know why that's even the case because you know earlier days I thought I can get Olivier somewhere, but that didn't come to mind until until certain time I realized Olivier is part of the secret round event, which I missed, which is very dumb of me. So yeah, I missed that the first time, but that wasn't a big of a problem because since the rerun happened, I was able to get my hands on Olivia once again, which completed this collection. And this one right here is quite different because in Sakura Wars, I missed out both SSR units, Sakura and Sumire. I didn't get them on the first time, so the only unit I was able to get out of this collab is Iris, and she's the only one that I got, which is pretty sad because she didn't have anyone to accompany her, which is unfortunate. But luckily with their rerun, I managed to get both. And surprisingly for me, I actually got both of them on the same tempo, which is a 30th pole, I should say. Like they both appear at the same time, which is a which is a blessing to me. Like the game really wants me to take these girls in, which is pretty nice. And of course, again, I got Yusuke here as the as a rerun unit. So, anyways, I'm not planning to get these two, so it doesn't matter to me anymore. Now, moving on to the next collab, which is Records of Lodoss War. So, anyways, Record of Lodoss War is an interesting one because a lot of people say that they are launching a they have launched the reason why the collab happens here because they're introducing a new game title within the series, but I'm not sure which one, but I do know one of them happens to be on a Nintendo Switch game. It happens to be on Nintendo Switch, but I don't know the exact title is. But it's mostly about D-Lit doing her adventure, I should say. But anyways, I'm getting a little off topic here. So anyways, the collab of this one brings over four characters. Parn, D-Lit, Pure Test, I mean, and Ashram. So anyways, the SSR banner lineup for this collab is D-Lit and Ashram. They both are SSR on this one. Back then, a lot of people see D-Lit as a very versatile unit, while Astro, on the other hand, is more like some other purpose though. Like, and a lot of people say he's not suited for PvP, which I get it in some ways because like you know getting him with higher attack is gonna be risky. It's gonna be very difficult to do. But if you're already there, then this is no issue to you. Anyways, anyways, this event is the first time they Zilong introduced two new SR units at the same time. So Parn and Purites are both SRs. That's the first time they actually introduced both of them here, which kind of makes sense here. So, anyways, what I'm trying to say is that anyways, this collab is pretty unique because Parn, in case you guys didn't know, if you upgrade Parn to 6 stars, he can promote himself from SR to SSR. Although the rarity change doesn't really impact at all, but it's just that which encourages you to use him when you reach his 6 stars. So yeah, Parn is actually pretty decent for beginners, I should say. And also for the fact that he's probably the first time being a free unit that's also a protagonist. Unlike any other collabs, the protagonist locked behind a paywall. Or locked behind a banner, I should say. Oh yeah, then in the history of reruns, not this banner, this event got rerun at least one time. That was like I think I don't remember which month that was, but I know it is on the month before Valkyria Chronicles first ran. Yeah, honestly, I kind of lost track when it was, but anyways, When the first time this banner ran, the only unit I missed is D-Lit. And then luckily the collab came back, and I was able to get my hands on D-Lit, and not because of Ashram's 6-star, because the game decided to give me her right away, which is better than just like being like taking a risk of not 5-starring, but not by not 6-starring Ashram. So yeah, this is a blessing to me. I was able to complete this collection, which I'm very proud of. And finally, and now we move on to another IP, which is made by the same team behind Trails in the Sky. This one's called The Legend of Heroes: Trails of Cold Steel. And unlike the previous title that ran from the same IP, this one only runs on one banner, and they only brought over 3 characters from that series. So here they are. So the 2 SSR characters they brought over, 1 hero and 1 villain. So anyways, the hero on this one is Schwarzer, I believe. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the last name, but Schwarzer is actually the protagonist of the series. And then the other SSR is a villain named Aaron Rowe, or Ari for short. And she wields a giant lance, and she can also be used as a whole unit on her other route. And lastly, the SR hero of this event is Altina. She's a bit of oddball here because a lot of people didn't find her impressive because of her being an SR. I mean, not gonna lie, not every SR are good though. Altina, on the other hand, it's great to have her, but unfortunately, due to the low usage, she didn't have the chance to shine in the PvP at all. It's because she's underwhelming. And also, by far of the rerun goes, this event hasn't rerun yet as of today. So, by the time we're recording, it might already rerun. I mean, by the time you're watching, this might have already got rerun. But so far, it hasn't got rerun yet. So don't get your hopes up if it hasn't happened yet. So, anyways, I don't see any obstacle having this rerun because the same IP did get a rerun with a Trails in the Sky. So I don't see a problem here when it comes to reruns. So if this did confirm get a rerun, I don't mind actually. But the thing is, this rerun won't benefit me much because for one, I already own everything here. So when the time by the time the rerun, I won't get any benefits out of that. I only get more shards for Altina. And let's move on to the next collab after Trails of Cold Steel, which this event run during the Christmas of I probably I don't remember which Christmas that was, but it was like the time before Rosenseal and Clotaire came around. So anyways, this is Overlord. I believe a lot of people are praising about this collab because there's been a lot of excitements for them because there are actually lots of interesting character designs here. So, anyways, these are the units that are part of this Overlord collab. So first off, we have Ainz Ogon, which is the big skeleton himself, and then Albedo, which is Ainz's guardian, and as well as Shoutir Bloodfallen, which is also another guardian, the one with the umbrella to be exact. By the time when the first time this banner run, I got Albedo on the banner, but however I missed Shoutir, which is unfortunate. Although some guys may be asking, well, who is the SR here? Well, I got something to say. This collab doesn't have any SRs at all. All 3 of them are SSRs. And some guys may be asking, well, who's the freebie? Well, I'm glad you asked because Aizugon is actually a free unit you can get within the event. Plus, he's an SSR right off the box, right out of the box. So that means once you get him, you only get 1 copy of him, unfortunately, because SSRs are actually not as generous as SRs. So if you manage to get him, he will begin at 3 stars. But then I believe the next time when this collab banner runs, you're gonna get another 60 shards for him if you already got him the first time. Anyways, by far of the collab reruns, Overlord hasn't rerun yet as of today. So anyways, reminder, if you watch this by the time the Overlord collab comes, then it's probably this video might be out of date to you. So bear that in mind. And then after this, there's gonna be some recurring collab reruns. So one of the most notably, like I said earlier, was Sakura Wars rerun after Overlord. But that's just in the past though. Like anyways, that's the time when I got both units at the same time. Just a little recap. And then after this after this collab actually disappeared for the second time, the next collab happens to be Machin Hero Wataru. This is the one where a lot of people are praising about this collab, like Himiko, for example. She's so unique and she's even capable of doing PvP. Like what made unique is that she actually can prevent the first encounter by the enemy. So when the enemy tried to attack her the first time, she would just dodge that and then get out of the way. Yeah, she is actually the first unit to ever introduce this kind of feature, which is pretty neat. And I'm actually happy to get both of them here. So, anyways, here's I'm gonna tell you what kind of units are here. So, anyways, Wataru is actually the protagonist here. Himiko is Himiko is a ninja, and then let me tell you who are the SSRs. Wataru and Himiko are both SSRs, while Shibaraku is a SR unit, which you can get from the event. He's free, of course. So yeah, that's the beauty of summon. That's the beauty of doing some summons here because when the time when this banner ran, I actually got both of them, which is awesome because I don't feel like missing out ever again by at this point. So anyway, so by the collab how they manage this, I'm actually in a favor of collabs with just only one banner because honestly that's the best way you can actually invest in them because for one you don't have to spend too much of those training vouchers just to get them all. So far, by the collab goes, Trails in the Sky and YuYu Hakusho collabs are the only two with double banners, and those are the ones I'm not a fan of because they actually want us to spend more than we should have. But hey, that's just me. So anyways, back on topic. So anyways, this banner, I believe not a lot of people recognize this, but eventually once they get to use them, they will probably understand where they come from. And finally, the next collab we have is uh, Samurai Trooper, also known as Ronin Warriors in Japan, I believe. So, anyways, this collab is interesting because it has three characters to come along here with the honorable mention of the previous video I made, where I said Rio Sanada and Kyra are the two SSRs. Anyways, the SR for this banner, for this event is Toma Hashiba, I believe. That's his last name, I believe. But anyways, I always get the banner and event confused because they both are actually happens to be the same thing. I don't know, based on the Langrisser's term. So anyways, SR Toma Hashiba is actually underwhelming, but a decent archer for starters. I should say because he has the ability to outrange his opponents whenever he is alone, like where no other friendly units within his range. So, anyways, this is a time when those collabs starting to crack the meta. Like I should say, Rio Sanada actually did make a huge difference here with the double attacking on some of her skills, while Kyra can actually outrange most of the opponents, and she can even teleport away, which is quite dirty for PvP, I should say. And by the time of this collab, I managed to get both of them, which is a blessing because honestly, I just don't know if I can get them both, but I was fortunate to have them both during that time. And then and yeah, eventually after this banner went away, coincidentally, the collab for the next one happens to be the rerun of Lodoss War, and that's the time when I got delit. And then after the next month after Lodoss War goes away, that's when Valkyria Chronicles comes in. And I believe some of you already know how the history of Valkyria Chronicles went. And speaking of which, this is the recent collab that happened last month, which of course is from the previous patch I mean. Anyways, this collab brought in Alicia, Silvaria, and Isara, and two SSRs here are Alicia and Silvaria. Alicia is the protagonist of the series, and then Silvaria is the antagonist. Well, not necessarily a full antagonist, but Maximilian is the antagonist of the series. But he doesn't show up here, but he did actually have the role in the Secret Rome event, like where Otagato was actually disguised as Maximilian, which of course they don't usually use Maximilian character himself there. They use Otagato's character as Maximilian to fool Salvaria, which not long Salvaria realized that's not even Maximilian. And then let's begin of how those guys work. So if you guys didn't know, Alicia and Savaria have their unique ways. Well, for the PvP players, a lot of people prefer Alicia over Savaria, even though Savaria has a range bonus. Well, the reason why they wanted to pick Alicia over Savaria is because Alicia's skills are actually straightforward, unlike Savaria. Because Savaria has a 3C that's pretty much making her a sniper. But unfortunately, if your opponent's too close, she's not going to be that strong. So that's why a lot of people didn't want to use her in the PvP boxes at all because of that one reason. Getting her to do the full effectiveness on that is just too hard. Because those units will just simply just avoid going to her range. Even though it's really scary. But usually if you move close enough, she's not that scary. What I mean scary is that she can actually ignore enemy soldiers and hit directly to the enemy hero, which could guarantee a kill. But that doesn't actually happen because most units will just move close to her and then she won't be able to kill them. And that's why Sylvaria has been shafted within this kind of Valkyria Chronicles for PvP front. And also Isara, she's a tank. What I mean tank, literally a tank. Anyways, Isara has a tank that allows her to protect allies, but it's not very practical tank because for one, she only guards physical attackers. Guard against physical attackers. Anything that has to do with magic, she won't be able to guard that. So that's why she's probably not worth using. Oh, sorry, I was yawning because it's pretty dark right now. So, anyways, Isara is probably interesting one because she is a first collab unit to have a tank plus a healing role. So yeah, she comes with a healing skill, which is kind of underwhelming if you have low attack. But if you're a fan of Valkyria Chronicles, you could make use of that to your advantage if you want. I believe some of our guildmates are actually in love with this series. Oh yeah, speaking of which, this game is actually pretty fun to play if you have enough time for your own. That is. So like this kind of game is available to almost every game platforms except for a few though because few of their entries are exclusive to PlayStation, which is Valkyria Chronicles 2 and 3. They both are still PS exclusives, and everything else you can actually get them anywhere, including the Switch. Anyways, they so far the games that you can play from any consoles are the original Valkyria Chronicles, which is a remastered version, and in the recent entry, Valkyria Chronicles 4. And also they both are pretty phenomenal. So anyways, Valkyria Chronicles, there's only one difficulty, which is normal, and I get newcomers are gonna have tough time dealing with that, but by the time the longer you play the game, the more you'll understand the strategy. And then the next thing about Valkyria Chronicles 4 is that they actually have something that the original doesn't have. So the first thing noticeably is that there's going to be difficulty that you can choose from, which is easy, which basically lowers the dangers of out of the dangerous scenario. So like your enemies will deal less damage than normal. Well, there's also normal difficulty, which basically treats the game like the original game. Basically, there will be no damage reduction, so everything you do will be risky. And also, in the original Valkyria Chronicles, the tanks, there are actually tanks you can actually pilot. In the original, to pilot a tank or control it, you need 2 CPs, which is the command points. But in Valkyria Chronicles 4, they reduced it to 1 to match up with any unit you control. So basically, those tanks are treated as a singular unit rather than a superior unit, I should say. Although they still fit in their own roles. And there's also a class that wasn't introduced in the original, which is the Grenadiers, which is the mortar launchers, which is pretty nice. They're actually trying to find some new ways to play the game. Anyways, they're fun to use because they allow you to attack enemies that are near impossible to reach. And I'm glad they actually have something new for the new installment. And someone's been asking, well, have you finished that title yet? Well, I'm still trying my best to complete it, but I'm pretty sure I'm close to the end. But it's just that some levels starting to get difficult, even at easy difficulty. Even though the game says easy, doesn't mean it's gonna be easy all the way. So, anyways, the game even have some DLCs, of course. The first title to receive DLCs, and those ones are actually pretty solid because it brought back the original characters from Valkyria Chronicles, which of course Alicia is one of them, and also the Squad 7 heroes, of course. You probably already know them if you played the Valkyria Chronicles originally. So, anyways, I believe that's all the collabs I can talk about. I know I actually took a long time for Valkyria Chronicles, for a very long time, because I'm actually in love with this series as well, not just Sakura Wars. Anyways, Valkyria Chronicles is something else, I should say, and I did play it in my own time, which is pretty fun. Oh yeah, and also I've actually received word from the CN, a version of Langrisser, is that they just received a collab which was actually like probably like near the near the end of June, which is Gintama. Gintama is actually on board with this. Unfortunately, since it hasn't arrived on global, I cannot explain much of it because you know, I don't know their names honestly. But anyways, Gentoki is actually one of those SSR units, but the other two I couldn't recognize because I only see a little glimpse of them, but I just don't get their names. Anyways, as usual, there's always gonna be 2 SSRs and 1 SR. So anyways, a lot of people say Gentoki is pretty much the MVP of PvP here, but I'm not certain. But we'll see when they come out in global, which won't be a while from now because we still have a couple patches before we reach the collab. So anyways, this wraps up the video. I'm sorry this video was long because I'm actually too excited for Valkyria Chronicles to come. But hey, have a nice day, everyone. Anyways, I'm exhausted. I don't think I'll be making any more videos at this point. So next time.